Okay, we are live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Marketing Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. If you've been watching my social media, you'll know I went to see Celine Dion this weekend.
That looked like so much fun.
Oh my God, she's amazing. It's the second time I've seen her, and she is just beyond. You couldn't even hear her voice half the time, though, because everyone was singing so loud, the whole stadium. The ball.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that was fun. So, okay. So I did do a little posting on my social media about what I do on the weekends, which I know is definitely something you recommend me do because people want to get to know me. But today, Kim, who is a social media strategist, and she's my social media strategist, is going to give us 5 action tips for using social media for our businesses. So, Kim, thank you for being here and take it away.
All right. Thanks so much. Happy Monday, everybody. I am really excited to share. Today, we're going to kind of, again, we've been reviewing, just kind of setting the stage on how to use social media for your business. And Nancy sharing over the weekend actually plays really nicely into my first tip. My first tip is be yourself. A story is much more enjoyable for marketing when people can see the real you and the authentic you and see that you're having fun. They get to know you a little bit more, and that helps build that know, trust, and like factor. Now, this weekend, I was actually thinking about, I have more like an agency, a business called Fresh Impact, and then I have myself. And so I always have that fine line, like how much do people really want to see me? And do I build a personal brand? And so those interior designers that have more of a bigger company that is more than just themselves, showcasing glimpses of your whole team is important so that people can get to know that there's a team. And of course, knowing the president is always great. But when I look at a lot of stuff online, you'll see that the president and stuff kind of takes a step back. But people still want to know who started the company, the brains behind the idea of the company. So not being afraid to share who you are, and that showing people that you have fun is great. The second one, and Nancy's, I have the blessing and privilege to be in part of her group. What do you call your
team?
Your team, but then your
the Interior Design Business Forum.
Yes.
We're broadcasting right now. Yep.
Yes. And then where your trainings and teachings are and stuff, and you do a great job. You have so many resources, but one of the big things is know your audience and then focus on those relationships. So again, social media is all about connecting on an authentic level, but we need to know who we're talking to. So when you are an interior designer, if you are an interior designer for just more of the elite, making sure that your messages relate to that. If you're an interior designer that will go into anybody's home, then making sure that you showcase a wide variety of things. So, but knowing who you're talking to. So for me, I need to know who my audience is. If I'm going to specialize in interior designers for social media, I use the same language that they would be familiar with using. Or I also do social media for construction workers, using words like dump trucks and payloaders in my conversation, kind of lets them know that I identify with them. Right. So to help you define your audience, make sure that you write down the details of their characteristics. Where are they at, their ages, their interests, what magazines are they reading, what blogs are they maybe following, where they're at, and that will help you to even research them out a little bit more and then know the language that they're speaking. And then writing down, how are you solving their problems? So what can you bring to them is really important. So making sure that you understand what their ache is, and then reframing that into a message that you can deliver to them so that they understand it. They want to see the results. Sometimes they like to see the before a little bit, but we really want to focus on what results that we're going to give them. And then writing down your 3 key marketing messages so that you can be remembered. Remind yourself on what you're trying to do, because it's really easy to get all scattered. I have made that mistake millions of times.
Me too.
And not having a real clear marketing message. So once you have that cleared down, it makes it a lot easier for them to understand what you do and look towards you to provide those services when they're ready for that. My third tip is be generous. Create a tip sheet on your area of expertise so that this helps you be more active on the platform. So again, like we've talked before, whether it's interior design, or whether it's managing a team, or whether it's managing a business, anything tips that you could help share. I actually just keep a running Google Doc, and I just keep all my tips on there. For my clients, each one of them has a tip sheet, and I just start keeping them, and that way everything's there when I'm ready to sit down and plan out my content marketing.
You know what? Let me jump in here for a second, Kim, because you're saying so many good things and my brain is on fire, right? So
Okay.
I want to go back to where you said speak to your ideal client. And I know, because this is what I coach people on every day, it's so hard for people to hone in on their ideal client often, right? Because they, especially as interior designers, well, I've worked with all kinds of clients and I like so many of them. And I always say, pick your top 3 favorite and then see what the commonalities are, right? Because these are the people who you enjoy working with. So we want to make sure that, and it's not just about, well, they had enough money to pay me and they had large budgets. We're talking about going a little deeper than that even. So when it comes to identifying your ideal client, definitely write down your top 3 clients of all time, and let's see if you can come up with some commonality. And even if you can't, I'm still going to push everyone to like choose one, and then like Kim's saying, what magazines do they read? What TV shows do they watch? And then this way you are going to be able to show commonality with them in your social media. The other thing you said just now is share tips. So I want to mention to everyone, it's a saying I am known for. People do not hire you for information. They hire you for implementation. Your ideal client is hiring you to implement. So don't be afraid to share, like Kim is saying. Share tips, share things you've done in other people's houses. If they're the type of person who's going to go and do it themselves, then let them do it. But the day comes along where someone goes, that's a great tip. But when they try to do it themselves and they're not able to, they're going to think of you because you were so generous in the amount of information you share. So just had to bring that up. Now you can keep going.
Thank you for sharing. And yes, I agree. And I understand the frustration with picking just like your target market. It's hard. And we could spend a whole session on that sometime because I have struggled, and I still am continuing working. So I get that, but it does make a difference because as I've been reviewing websites and I've been doing a lot more social media audits, it is really hard to know what message people are sending if they don't have a clear ideal client in mind that they're talking to. And the more audits I've been doing on their social platforms, the more I'm like, I don't know who they're talking to, so they're not resonating with me.
Yes, and it doesn't, and we should do a whole show on this. I mean, I've done many lives about this also. If, like you said, if you're too general, you're not speaking to anyone. They can't picture themselves working with you. And the common misconception is that if I get too specific, other people may not hire me because they'll say, well, that's not what I do. Right? They'll think like if you say I work with, single divorced men over 40, well, then what if a woman's looking at my website? She won't hire me. That is the farthest thing from the truth. I don't just coach interior designers, even though I only market to interior designers, because my messages are so clear that other people are attracted to me. Like, I know you coach interior designers, but could you also coach me? And that's what's going to happen to you guys when you get very clear on your social media.
Correct.
It just makes you more attractive, and it makes your knowledge be very clear to everyone who's listening and watching. So.
Correct. I agree. So definitely know your audience so that way you can focus on that relationship, because it's a lot easier to talk to one person than it is to talk to 10. So
That's true.
Yes. And then the be generous for the tip sheet. And that really does, again, helps build relationships. And then sharing content from other businesses in your industry is really great on that tip sheet. So keep a running list of either other pages that you follow that are in your industry so that you can look through there and then share that information. And that helps you not have to come up with everything all on your own all the time.
So should interior designers share other interior designers' work?
I would say yes, but not all the time.
Right.
So if 100% of your page is everybody else's work, then nobody gets to see yours.
Right.
But yes, I would share, especially ones that like you respect, or especially if they're like partners with you or colleagues that you share back and forth information. That's a no-brainer. But yeah, everybody likes to be shout out. And I have found that the more I shout out others, they turn around and shout me out. And so it's just that law of kindness, kind of like and making sure that it's genuine. So if there's a design that you saw someone else do and you loved it, share it, but then tell people why you loved it. Again, that helps build your expertise, that they know that you're not just pigeonholed into one area, especially with a creative market like interior design.
Definitely. And, listen, you're not going to be sharing the other interior designer down the block necessarily unless you're in some kind of partnership with them, but you certainly can share interior designers' work from all over the United States or in other countries that you admire and that you love. And that just shows your generosity also.
Correct. So my next tip is start with one platform and then have a strategy. And we've talked about this in the last few weeks, is that do not think that because someone says that there is 6 platforms that you need to be on, that you need to be on all of them. So Facebook and Instagram would be 2 that I would start. Once you get really good at them, have a solid strategy, you feel things are rolling really good for them, then you can add the Pinterest, or if Snapchat or what other ones you decide that you would want to do, then you could. But just start with the 2 first ones and get really good at them. And then blocking out time on your calendar, because we all think we have time for social media. I am so guilty of this myself. I'm good at getting my client work done, but horrible about promoting my own business. So blocking out the time, I usually try to block out Sunday afternoons for an hour to just get my brain around what specials I want to offer, what do I want to promote for my own business. And then spending 15 to 30 minutes a day, if you have time, when you're first ramping up your social media, a day for a month. Do that for a month. And then you can find that you can probably cut back a little bit. But when you start using social media, it's a tool. Tools only work if they're used. And so start using that. But you have to be in there and engaging, commenting. It's interesting. We've been doing a lot of research and testing on Instagram comments and Facebook comments. So if someone leaves a comment on your page and we do like a hand clap or a heart or something, it's pretty easy to leave those comments. And people are like, not as engaged. But once we start going that one step further and saying, thanks for the comment or great idea, the engagement rate is increasing significantly.
Right.
So making sure that you take that time, because we can post all we want, but posting and ghosting doesn't develop relationships.
Oh, I like that. Posting and ghosting does not develop relationships. It's true. I mean, there was a time, and I still do it once in a while probably, when I'm in a rush, I'll be just leaving blue hearts, right? Blue hearts, but that's not engaging, right? Might as well just like and move on if I have nothing to say specifically about it. But if I take, and I always try to spend 10 minutes a day on each of my social media platforms as myself, even though I have a team that handles some of it for me, and make sure that 10 minutes, I don't go down a rabbit hole and I just focus on, this is the 10 minutes on Facebook business, and make sure I'm using that full 10 minutes to be interactive. And then 10 minutes on Instagram and 10 minutes on LinkedIn. It does add up still because I'm on so many social media platforms. But if you're just starting out, Kim said 15 to 30 minutes. When you're ramping up, you can probably then bring it back down to 10 minutes once you have it rolling.
Definitely. And I will say, because we have 16 clients right now we're actively managing, that because you do engage, your platforms are performing some of the highest. And so we can see that on our end, because I have clients that haven't even opened up their Facebook page in a couple of years. So they're not, but their purpose is a different goal. But if you're wanting to use it to develop relationships to get clients, that's what definitely making sure that you engage. And then don't always do at 8 o'clock every morning. See if you can do it a couple times during the day, different times. So one day, maybe 8, the next day, maybe 8 at night, or maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so, but you don't have to do all those time slots during one day, but spread it out through the week, different time slots, different days. Right. And then the next one is linking your accounts, making sure if you have a website that you have your social icons on there, and that if you are on Facebook, they have a spot on your personal page where you can also link to your Instagram page, and you can link to your Twitter or your LinkedIn. I would say that of the 10, I'll just say the last 10 audits that I did for social media audits, only 3 of them had their accounts linked. That is crazy. It's missed opportunity. Yes, it's very missed opportunity. you have a personal page, make sure you put your business page listed on your personal bio, because half of them that I went to, I couldn't even tell what job they did when I went to the personal pages. So making sure that your account is linked, your website is your home base, and making sure everything else links from there. And my last message, I think that's actually an extra one, is give it time.
I think we're over 5. We've given so many tips.
Give it time. Social media success doesn't happen overnight. It just takes a lot of time. So I want to encourage you that if you've tried it, just keep trying it and keep putting some time into it, because you will build a beautiful marketing tool once you keep using it.
Yes. And I hear a lot, I hate Facebook. I hate Instagram. And you know what? Kind of so do I, in the sense that if I wasn't running a business, I probably wouldn't be on it as much. I definitely would not be on it as much as I'm on it. But all it takes is getting one client through your Instagram or one client through your Facebook, and suddenly you're going to like it more.
Right.
Keep trying.
Right. And marketing is part of owning a business. Whether we like it or not, it's what we have to do, because people are not, usually when you start out or even been in business for years, they're not going to knock at your door unless they know who you are. And social media is a great way for them to know that.
Definitely. Okay. Thank you so much, Kim. These were great tips. And Kim and I spoke before we went live about if there are specific topics in the social media realm, digital marketing world, that you would like us to talk about on Marketing Mondays. Post a comment underneath and we'll make sure we put that on the schedule for Marketing Mondays. I know we're going to hit a lot of tips about Facebook and Instagram, but is there anything specific you want us to cover or show you how to do? We do have the ability to share screen with this system as well. So let us know and we will try to do that for you. Okay. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone. I won't be here tomorrow for Technology Tuesday, but I think I will be live for Website Wednesday. So thanks everyone for watching. Have a great Monday. Make a list of 3 things you have to get done today, hopefully related to your social media. Get on your marketing. It's really important. Talk to you soon.
Right.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.